We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
All right, guys, Old School Will is here. I just got off the television there and saw something about Campbell's soup.
Campbell's soup executive who's out of the job after the release of a recording where he makes disparaging remarks about Indian workers and says the products, meaning Campbell's soups, are meant for poor people. Damn! I did a TikTok on this. It kind of went viral. Campbell said Wednesday that Martin Bally, a vice president in information technology, is no longer employed by the company. It comes after they determined that the recording with Bally is authentic. They say the recording was shared as part of a wrongful termination lawsuit filed by a former employee against the company. CBS News was able to obtain part of that recorded phone call. Here is part of that conversation.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
I grew up on Campbell soup. And this executive, I love it how corporations are just burning themselves, right straight to the ground by just getting out there telling all their secrets. But this one in particular really kind of got me because I had no idea that I was eating food that came from a 3D scanner. So what I did is I went and I looked at my cabinet and I looked at the back can of Campbell. And what that executive said is print it on the can. Go figure that one out. So let me show you what Old School is getting ready to do. I went into that pantry and this is what I saw. Yeah, all my Campbell items here. Look at the back of this. It says, let's see if I can hold that right for you. I don't know if you can see that, but it says bio something on that. And $2 a can for this stuff. And then I looked at right next to it my chicken broth, which was, by the way, a lot cheaper. And the ingredients did not contain what that bio stuff that Campbell has dumped in there. So guess what Old School is getting ready to do? He's getting ready to dump all of this mess. It doesn't take much for me to just say I had enough, especially with these big corporations. Just can't deal with it. So all this stuff in here that has Campbell's name on it, I'm fortunate I only have 2, 8, 12 cans. I'll come back with you when I have them all set out there, so just stand by with me. Okay, so as you see, I got them all lined up there. I think I'm fortunate I only had about 12 cans of this stuff. But I don't deal with crap like this. So all 12 cans in the garbage.
This stuff is for poor people. It's all 3D printed chicken in there, and I'd never eat it.
Campbell's soup vice president just said that their soups have 3D printed meat in them. He was also caught on recording saying that Campbell's products are for poor people and that he won't eat them because he knows that they are unhealthy with the bioengineered meat in them.
Bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
This was all caught on audio recording by an employee named Robert Garza of Michigan. Garza filed a lawsuit against Campbell's on Thursday and released audio. He says features Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally. A Campbell's Soup Company spokesperson released a statement that said, "We are proud of the food we make, the people who make it, and the high-quality ingredients we use." The comments on the recording are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd. Keep in mind the alleged comments are made by an IT person who has nothing to do with how we make our food. If the recordings are legitimate, the comments are unacceptable, and they do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. Mr. Bally is temporarily on leave while we conduct our investigation.
Needless to say, Campbell, I won't be buying your product anymore, especially with something that has stuff in it that I don't even recognize. And as I stated before, I grew up on Campbell's. But this is, y'all are falling by the way of Target, folks. Sam's Club, Walmart, who else? Home Depot, you better watch out because I got my eyes set on you next. Lowe's. Folks, we got to do better as far as who we're giving our money to. Because old school, like I said, I'm putting you up underneath a magnifying glass and I'm gonna start reading every can I got in that pantry in there. I will say I thank that executive, although I heard that he's no longer with the company. But I do thank him for kind of opening up our eyes as to the real Campbell's. Boy, I tell you what, you guys are something else. Oh boy, who are y'all hiring nowadays? The guy to go completely against a company that's making paying him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he gets out and says something as, it's not stupid. And like I said, I thank him because you woke up a lot of people's eyes, because I know everybody that within earsight of Old School's podcast here, I can guarantee you're gonna run into that pantry and you're gonna take a look at what Campbell's has done and what they've been putting in their product. Oh well, so with all that being said, I'm gonna show a few clips. And if you believe in what Old School has been saying about Campbell's, leave a comment down there. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets even worse, folks. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing at Campbell, but I am, because you're just that freaking stupid. Oh well, that's all Old School's got to say on this video. Stay tuned for the next one though, because Old School is, I told you I'm fired up, and 2026 is gonna really be fired up. So you guys stay blessed. Old School is going to show you exactly what's been going on.
The CEO of Campbell Soup Company has been dismissed and faces corporate litigation and substantial fines after personally admitting that the products were made for the poor and that his own family would never consume them because they contained no real chicken. The company has filed a lawsuit against him, alleging he caused severe damage to the brand and seeking millions in damages. Meanwhile, some consumers reported finding unidentified ingredients in the products. Additionally, several chefs with decades of experience publicly stated that meat ingredients from certain suppliers exhibited abnormalities, making them more prone to spoilage during cooking. They've had to relearn cooking techniques. Regulators discovered Campbell's knew about the changed ingredient sources long ago, yet still provided compliant certifications, shifting risks onto every ordinary consumer. If you're still consuming these products, you face an immense invisible risk. Prosecutors are now using this as core evidence to charge the company with systemic fraud. Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Yeah, he didn't lie. It said contains bioengineered food ingredients. The ingredients from canola, corn, and soy in this product come from genetically modified crops.
I just went to Kroger to get some soup, Campbell's soup. And you know what I noticed? In the soup is bioengineered products. So in other words, they engineered mushrooms. They engineered the cream. They engineered the noodles. You don't know what they I don't know what they did, but bioengineered soup. Whatever happened to good, good. That's what Campbell soups are. Good.
Nobody's eating Campbell soup anymore since they know what's in the ingredients. The CEO won't even eat it himself. They paid a lot of money to put their product on the end cap, and people still won't buy it. Nobody wants to eat that garbage anymore.
You gotta start getting mad at the important things, not at this 3D printed chicken. Why can't we come together like this for anything else important in life? You know, not pay taxes, change some laws around to our benefit. Mind you, these cans were $3 a pop just 2 months ago. Now you could get 4 for $1 and they're still there. Well, that raises the question. They could have sold these cans for 25 cents a pop to begin with. Of course they could have, but it's called consumerism. It's called greed. It's called profit margin. We make companies go out of order from one day to the next. Why can't we do that with anything else? My theory is it's hard to target something we can't see. Why don't we do this when it comes to jobs? You know, if we put the same amount of effort that we do to these businesses, we will be good. Don't nobody show up for work for 3 days and see what happens to this society. See if it all don't come crashing down. Of course it will. Us poor people, like how the Campbell's vice president said, need to come together. That's what we need to do. We need to come together and organize. Doesn't this prove to us right here that we could cause change? That we're the ones that are running everything? We are the ones that are keeping this illusion going. As soon as we pull the plug on it, it's over for everybody. It was supposed to be a 3-day blackout that was supposed to happen last month. There was even a flyer that was going around. The people didn't do it. I promise you, if they did it, it would have changed everything. Time is ticking. Y'all let me know. Where we meeting? 4 for $1. 4 for $4. And they still can't get them off the shelves.
Hey, I'm at Sam's Club, and look, pallets of 3D chicken soup. And it's $12.98. So if you're in the market for all that chicken soup, 3D chicken soup from Campbell, y'all, it's right here waiting for you at Sam's Club. Y'all have a great...
I do not believe this, so I had to pull this out and look at it myself. And what do you know? It says it right there. Oh my goodness, that is mind-blowing.
Former employee who's suing the company says he secretly recorded Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally during what that worker describes as an hour-long tirade.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at me, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
So not only does he talk about the food, but this lawsuit also alleges that this VP went on to talk about employees at the company, and the lawsuit alleges that they're racist comments. Apparently, the former employee reported all of this to his manager. He says that some time went on and he wasn't encouraged to go to HR, and so he got fired. And what he's saying now is that he believes his firing was retaliation for him coming forward and speaking out about all of this.
People are now boycotting Campbell soup and Campbell products, throwing away all of their Campbell product after a rant was recorded of an executive not only belittling the customer, saying that this food is for poor people, saying that he himself would not eat this food because it's made with a 3D printer. And now Campbell Soup, which is a company that's been around for 155 years, denies the claims of it using 3D printed products in its food.
We have that's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
And the guy that recorded this executive saying all these things was fired by Campbell. He thought that they would have his back after bringing this to their attention, but instead they fired him, and now he's suing them. So not only do they have a lawsuit under their hands, they have a PR nightmare having to combat the idea that they're using bioengineered products within their soup. And all the poor people, as the executive mentioned, don't even want to buy their food anymore anyways.
Martin Bally here. I just wanted to apologize about some of the comments that I made that leaked yesterday. I said that our soup is only for poor people, that we 3D print the meat, and I said something about Indian guys, not really sure what. Our soup is for more than just poor people. It's also for the elderly and for dogs. In fact, for years I've been trying to get the company to reposition itself as a dog food product. We're there quality-wise, price-wise, we're under the competition. It's kind of a huge market there. But, so no, it's not just for poor people, believe it or not. Well, sometimes I'll take some cream of mushroom soup and put it in my fish tank at home just to see if the clownfish can even survive it. And my daughter will say, "Daddy, stop, you're torturing them." But she's 7, so she's poor. So she doesn't know what she's talking about. The meat is not bioengineered either. I did not mean that we literally 3D printed. I just meant the way that we go about, raising and slaughtering chickens on a massive scale is akin to 3D printing. Just in the sense that they're cramped together, tens of millions of them, they never see daylight, and they're slaughtered as soon as they're fat enough. To show you that we are committed to making quality products that are not for poor people, we are going to triple the price of every can of Campbell soup and triple the amount of chickens that we are shoving into our slaughterhouses. That is our commitment to you. And that is our promise.